Turn your green screen off. No, it's the red button. Get a power button. Everything I hear is paddle. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fifth quarter show. This is your host, Jaynes, and Adam, I almost got it right, Baker, tonight. Anyway, we are ready for our second week of broadcast this week. Going to talk about some football. We got some guys that we're going to be recognizing. And are we playing the intro? No, I guess not. Okay, we're going to go straight over to Coach over here, and pardon us, folks, we're having some technical difficulties. Let's not worry about that. We're going to move on with the show. And, okay. There you go. You finally got it. There we go. All right. Sorry about that again, folks. Anyway, we got some kids that we're going to recognize tonight, Coach, and then we're going to talk about the game that we played Friday night and the game that we got coming up and some sports news that's going on around. So without further ado, let's bring out some of these young men that we want to recognize as impact players for Friday night. Impact players are players that we feel that, they were so close to being a player of the week, but they are players that because of their action in the game, whatever positives we had, we feel like these are the guys to recognize. Right? Really big deal. Yeah, there's quite a bit on Friday night. So first one we'd like to start off with is Mr. Watts. If he could come on out. Dylan Watts. All right. Now, for the first time that I can remember, this young man right here is a name that we called out quite a bit Friday night. He had a total combined 13 tackles for the team Friday night, and we quite humorously coined the phrase, "What's happening to the team?" I like the play. So. No, Dylan's a kid that we had really high expectations of last year. Sophomore, ended up breaking his collarbone, week 1 last year? Yes, sir. So he was out for most of the year. And he responded. He did a heck of a job. And he had his first Friday night experience at Taylor, and he really showed out this week. So we're proud of Dylan and what he's doing, and playing safety for us and playing some running back. So we'll keep him getting better. All right. Thank you for being a Impact Player of the Week, and we hope to see you here again soon. Is the folks watching? Did you tell me you were going to be here tonight? Yes, sir. All right. Very soon. The next player that we'd like to bring out is Mr. Clyder. Z. He's becoming a frequent visitor on the show. Yes, he is, and I'll tell you what, he's making his presence known out there on the field. Friday night, total combined 10 tackles. He had 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, and 2 pressures on a passer. Yeah, it's really big, and then, they were just talking about it behind the screen, laughing about it, the field goal block. This guy. Exactly. Really big play. And Z, like I told you last week, Z goes really hard, and he's earned everything he's got, and he's definitely one of our best players on defense right now, and the speed he plays at is something that's incredible to watch, and so I'm excited to see him keep making plays and keep blocking field goals. Did you tell your folks you're going to be here tonight this time? No? Did you do that on purpose? Is that by design? No, I didn't forget. That's okay, I told him. All right, thanks. See you, ladies. All right, Mr. Hendricks, come on out. Tim. Mr. Hendricks, a total of 10 combined tackles on the field Friday night. Quite a bit step up from the Ducks game. Yeah, no, Cam I talked about him, the captain, Kansas captain. I talked about him that first week on the show. And a guy that we had a big question mark moving Amos back to Hornet. And we had a big question mark on Mike. And Cam's done a great job. He's anchoring our defense right there at Mike. And he takes a lot of the blocks that Amos, and we're going to recognize later on tonight, can have 23 tackles. So really big deal from that 10, and excited to see Cam keep growing and keep playing and learning the defense and making big plays. You like coming out here and joining us on the fifth quarter show?
Yes, sir.
All right, I want to see you out here every week. Every week. So you make it. See, all right. Now, this guy is totally no stranger.
No stranger.
No stranger whatsoever.
I wish we could call his name more.
Yeah, Rayshawn, come on in.
Come on, Ray.
Big Ray. Look at him.
What are you doing? Like a head right there.
Oh, I thought he was like one of those French painters.
That's like his new look. It's like his new thing.
Is that your new look?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's the Rayshawn look, huh? All right, Rayshawn. Man, what can we say? 212 yards on 20 carries. We bumped the average yardage up this game from last game from 8 yards a carry to 10 yards a carry. And, a touchdown, a long run of 61 yards. That's 2 games back-to-back with a 60-plus yard carry.
Yeah.
That's going to become a staple, man. You're setting the bar.
Pretty high.
I'm telling you, you're setting the bar. And there's some other accolades that we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
But, man, keep doing what you're doing.
Dealing with Ray is, like I've said, all year. His work's showing, but, one thing I'd like to look at having is, when's the last time Gates fought a rusher to go 200 yards back-to-back weeks?
Yeah.
And for me, 255 last week and then 212 this week. And obviously, we're going to recognize an offensive lineman tonight, but offensive line's doing a good job. A-backs doing a good job. Quarterback's doing a good job. And they're allowing Ray to get loose, and also he's making some big plays. So he's got to keep that up and stay hungry, and I'm excited to see what he does this week.
All right, Rayshawn. We'll see you back next week. If you ain't back next week, I'm going to come and have a personal talk with you.
Hey, no bonnet next week.
No bonnet. All right, this is going to be our first lineman of the year out here, Coach. We're going to bring out Mr. Pollard. Gabe, come on out.
Yeah, come on, Gabe.
I'm going to tell you, I watched the O-line and the D-line real close in the game Friday night. But I'm going to tell you something. There was one play in particular that I saw Gabe come up off the snap of the ball, and he literally came out in the iron cross figure and grabbed 2 players. Remember, I even made comment about it. Grabbed 2 defensive players and pulled them both backwards. I'm like, man, this dude is fixing to go Superman on these guys out here. When you make plays like that as an O-lineman, this is what gets you recognized in my book.
No, I love it, man. I love it. Showing some big boys some love. Gabe's a 3-year starter, and he told him all off-season and stuff. He's got to anchor our guys up front because he's the most experienced coming back. He's doing that, and Gabe had a big off-season, and he knows how to outside of offensive line, and doing a great job leading those guys.
Tip to tip, what is that wingspan?
I don't know. Let's see it. Show it.
Let's see that wingspan. Oh, let's see that. And then whenever you grab a hold of 2 defensive players and you're running, they were going backwards. That was, man, hats off. That was a phenomenal play.
And Ray's does what he does because of these guys.
Yeah.
And so it's awesome to recognize them. We can recognize all of them, but Gabe's definitely one that deserves a lot of recognition what he's done and his work he's put in. So
yeah, I was trying so hard to find that play so I could put it up on the green screen and have it up there when it happened. And I don't remember where it happened at. All I know is Adam could tell you I went crazy when I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh.
He's a big old dude. He's a big one.
All right, thanks for joining us. And without further ado, we're going to bring the man of the half hour out here. Man of the half hour. Okay, you ready for this? I'm ready. 23 total combined tackles, 1 tackle for loss, not counting what he did out there offensively for us. Number 1, offensively, he draws a lot of attention. A lot. Because, I mean, if you're scared of a jump ball being thrown, this is the man you need to cover.
Exactly.
So, that takes a lot of pressure off of other receivers. It takes pressure off of Rayshawn, and causes DBs to have to back up.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. But defensively, man, wow. Keep that up. That's phenomenal.
Just flying to that ball. We were there. We'd see Clay, we'd see other guys, but at the bottom of the pile, here comes Amos. Consistently, every time. He's starting to figure it out. And we talked about Amos, and Amos, the captain, he got recognized that first week. But moving back the ball is a little bit different. We played Michael last year, sophomore, and for him to go back, and now he's trying to figure it out. And he's become a leader back there, getting everybody lined up. And from that, the tackles he had against that team, and a good team. We'll talk about him. And they played really well, and he gave our defense a chance, and he made some really big plays.
So I got a question. What's your favorite food?
Food?
Yeah, your favorite food.
It's an enchilada.
So, okay, that's enchilada. Okay, there's a little plug. Yeah, hell yeah. Anyway,
So do you get enchilada smell and rub it on the ball? Is that how he finds it so much?
I don't know. I think he just has a knack for it. Yeah, no, there's a lot of enchilada sauce on the ball. Go get him, Amos. That's it. Give me the ball. No, I'm expecting him a lot this week. He needs to have a big game this week. He needs that defense, and that's why it's called the Hornet. It's an important position. Yeah, and that's why we put him there. So.
Well, with all due respect, congratulations on making Player of the Week. I knew you was going to be out here. I just didn't know how soon you was going to make it. But your performance Friday night, as tough as that game was, man, you had an outstanding performance.
Got it, Bill.
All right, thanks for joining us. And cut that camera if you would, Jonathan. And we're going to go to a little bit of sports news. And unfortunately, I only got one script tonight, so I'll have to read those off, and then Adam can do most of the talking with Coach tonight. Wednesday results, cross-country, Gatesville Junior High team results from the Belton relay-style meet was 8th. Number 1 girls, second out of 26 teams, and number 8 second. Number 2 girls out of 12 out of the 26 teams, and then the 7th and the 9th girls out of 24 teams. 8th grade boys were 10th out of 22 teams, and the 7th grade boys were 10th out of 18 teams. Wow. So the junior high team had a really good showing out there.
Yeah.
And then moving on to Friday night, as much as we don't want to say it, Gatesville dropped that one, but it was a heck of a battle out there. Going into the locker room, it was really good going in at least about halftime there.
It was.
The third and fourth quarter was a heck of a battle, but everybody that watched knows how that game ended up, and we'll be moving on to Mahia this Friday night. Varsity took a loss at volleyball to the 4A number 12 Glen Rose, and Glen Rose really played the girls tough. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you, anybody that beats the Gatesville varsity volleyball team in 3 straight sets is a heck of a team. Yeah. I don't even have to see the game to know that that's how that came out. Yeah. So we will be looking forward to getting back to covering the girls here pretty soon. Yep. We got some games on the schedule, so you can check that out on Facebook and see those schedules coming up. The sub-varsity JV lost to Glen Rose 0-3. Academy was a 2-1 loss to Colleen Chaparral and Harker Heights. It was just a big tournament that was going on there. No offense, but we don't care about giving their scores. We just want to know what Gatesville did. There we go. Monday night, the junior high varsity results was Robinson 8th grade A won 2-0. 8th grade B won 2-1. 7th grade A lost 1-2, and 7th grade B lost 0-2. Tuesday results for 7th grade football defeated North Belton 6-0.
First junior high win last night. Good
about that. And then tennis had their varsity matchup, and they defeated Glen Rose 13-6 in district play.
It's a big match.
Big match right there. Gatesville is now 1-1 in league play, and they will be hosting Brownwood on September 24th. So that will be here. We'll see what kind of news updates we can get you about that information as it goes on. And then volleyball. Varsity playing Lampasas beat Lampasas 3-1. That was a 25-15, 25-14, 22-25, and then 25-11. So Gatesville has upped their record this season to 16-9, and will travel to Waco High on Friday. So that's what's happened in the sports news. Now some other news. This is the one that I was really looking forward to talking about right here tonight. Football, Gatesville High School senior, who we just saw here tonight, running back Rayshawn Smith, thanks to his 212-yard rushing performance this past week against Glen Rose, moved to the number 3 spot in Gatesville football's career rushing yardage category. Rayshawn now has 3,252 career yards rushing, placing him behind only Torian Henderson. Legends right there. And LaShawn Thayer with 5,336 yards in our record book. And Rayshawn's not done. He's not. We got a long season left ahead of us, and depending on how things go with the season and so forth, there's no telling how many yards that young man has the ability to put up. And we've seen games that, on paper and predictions shouldn't have been in our favor, and Rayshon go out and put on a performance and puts Gatesville in the game. Connolly is a heck of a example right there.
He's definitely going to get his opportunities. So.
32 runs.
Yeah. They'll be 30 plus.
Jimmy Johnson deals, he's got to get at least 25.
At least.
All right, and then other big news, tennis's Casey Fitzer, a senior this year, two-time regional qualifier, has verbally committed to Hardin-Simmons University. She becomes the third Hornet student athlete to verbally commit and will sign her official national letter of intent in November. So congratulations to her. We're really excited about that. And that is our sports news.
We got a lot of it.
Yeah, it all. So good job. Thank you. I'm good. I got hooked on phonics this week, so it's hard when you got so much going on and everything. On to Friday night's game. We know what we want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean
you can't dodge it. You got to hit on.
Yeah.
And we knew going into the game that Glen Rose was going to be a heck of an adversary.
Yeah.
They're in a top 10 ranking. And we always play a good, hard, tough game against Glen Rose. Having them come to town, what happened in the game that you saw that was good, and where do you think that we struggled and cost us a game?
Well, I mean, good is a team like that's a very explosive team. I thought defensively we did a lot of good things, making them drive. The first drive they went on, I think, was a 13-play drive, and they scored. And if in the game of high school football, you can make a team go 13 plays, you're doing things the right way. So kudos to our defense and our defense staff and Coach Aguirre and our kids. But we always talk about the middle eight. I talked about that the last time I was on here. We want to win the middle eight. So we want to win the last 4 of the second quarter. We want to win the first 4 of the third quarter. The first 4 minutes third quarter. We want to do it within a score at halftime either way. And that would be right where we want to be. The block field goal was huge by Xavier. They really worked that all week. And those guys, we actually did a drill on Monday and Tuesday, teaching a block on a pad, and it paid off. But to win the last 4 of the second quarter, we did not win the first 4 of the third. And I think that's where it kind of set the tone of the rest of the game. We came out, kick off return, won the toss to third exactly we wanted the ball coming out, and then we get a holding call that, questionable, but it's a holding call, and you got to live with it. So we get pinned in our own end zone, and then have the snap that puts us back, and then it's our second 20 from our own 2. And then I just feel like we never got going after that. And so that is kind of frustrating, but like you say, kind of a fight, kind of an effort, but we've got to find a way to win those games, and that's been the message all week to our kids.
I think that's one thing I noticed is you're right. I mean, the first half, great. I mean, it really looked good. Second half, it just seemed, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't clicking right. It just seemed like everything, they were just a step off.
Yeah. Well, and a good team like that's played. They played 14 weeks, 15 weeks the last 3 years in a row. And so a good team like that, when their back's against the wall, sometimes it looks like we're not executing, but they are just executing. And they did that. And like I told y'all last week, I think Coach Watkins and his staff did a great job. That's why I love playing them. All 3 games that we played those guys, our JV goal was a 1-score game. They beat our JV black team, which is the first game they've lost in a year and a half. They were undefeated last year. And it was all close games. And they out-executed us. And so all across the board at every level, like I told y'all, we do talk about our opponent, but we look at ourselves. And we've got to figure out ways that we've got to go and handle and come out on top of those games. And I think it just takes, time, and it takes practice, and it takes us, being honest with each other. But we've had a good week, and I think our guys have done that. And, we can't lose again those twice. And that's kind of been the message all week is like, don't have the, get up so high and then crumble down. It's all about us, and it's something that we can fix.
But even the second half, you even mentioned it. Your defense really held them. I mean, even in the second half, they did. They had some success there. But it wasn't just given to them. Like you said, they marched down. They were hitting those slot receivers. They were just chipping away slowly. So there wasn't any big just destructive, blown away.
No, and their quarterback's a really good player. He is. He's going to be an all-state guy. That number one receiver, he's a returning all-state receiver. Their tight end's a returning all-state guy. And so they're good. And like I said, I think one thing to kudos our kids, I think we definitely won the physical battle. I think we were a very physical team, and that's what I made Coach Watkins talk about after the game was like, man, Coach, that was a war right there. And so, yeah, we got out of it mostly healthy. We were banged up a little bit here and there, but now we got a really good football team right here this week. And we talked about it a little bit, but mostly the focus on us. What can we do? How can we fix it? And let's be honest with each other, and let's go to work and find a way to fix it.
Well, real quick before I go on with the next question, Coach, we got something new tonight.
Okay.
Sure. Imagine that.
Yeah, I love it.
But the viewers that are tuned in tonight do have the ability that they can log in any questions that they might like to have asked on the show. As long as they're good, clean questions, I got them where they can pop up on there.
That's pretty cool.
People pop up on there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cam supporter put a comment on the board tonight. So we do have a question board that is open for you, the viewers. You've got about 5 minutes. If there's a question you'd like us to pop out and ask Coach or ask Adam, if you want to ask Adam, you can go ahead and do that. With that being said, I'll be checking and monitoring the questions, and if something good comes up, we'll let it know, and we'll put it on the air and talk about it maybe. But real quick, closing out with Glen Rose, I believe that's the reason that if you notice that all of the impact players that we recognized tonight were mostly all the defensive players, because I feel like in what we saw and what took place out there, the whole key to the game was the defense was keeping us in it for as long as they possibly could. I think the defense gave Glen Rose everything they could, and it was a great defensive game to watch.
No, for sure. It's best we played by far defensively, and we feel like that's a big strong suit for us just because of the speed we have and the returners that have the most returning playing time back there. But what also you got to talk about is offensively, managing the clock and shortening their drives, because if you give that team extra possessions, they're going to score. I think we've held them to the least amount of point totals in quite a few games. And so, we play complimentary football with each other, and that's why we huddle, that's why we slow things down, is in a game like that, most of the time it is a defensive battle, and you just got to go make the plays to win the game, and they did, and we didn't. So.
Couple turnovers, I think it was the biggest key to just kind of stall out the offense. The defense was doing, like Lee said, giving everything they could to keep hanging in there. But I noticed that your center to quarterback exchange was a lot better this week.
I told you we were going to fix it. So.
I noticed your guard wasn't running into it as much, so that kind of helps a little bit.
It does. No, and we looked at ourselves and said, hey, can we do this better? And we found a better way, and so that's what we do.
Well, that's a good thing about playing, quality teams like you have so hard. Taylor, Glen Rose to hold them and do what you did there. Hey, even though it wasn't the outcome that I know you wanted, there was still a lot of positive stuff to come out of that.
No, it is. It is always positive at every game. But it's like I tell the guys, I'm tired of the pats on the back and saying, man, y'all played so hard. That's the standard here. Yeah. To play hard. Now you got to go win those games. And that's where we got to continue to grow. I got to continue to grow. Our staff's got to continue to grow. And say complacency is not in our DNA. It's what can we do to get better. And no more, hey, good old boy, let's go win the game.
So you're often just like playing quality teams is going to help you. You're not going to get better playing SWAC teams. Because then whenever you get to district, which we're not in a SWAC district, you're going to have to earn it. And then you're just getting around. So
one play at a time, man. One play at a time.
The unforeseen motto is, what are you going to do better this week?
Yeah. Well, what we're going to do better this week, we focus on us a lot. So you go back and you look. Defensively, I think we got played a bit tighter in coverage sometimes. We did good on third down. We did really bad on fourth down. And they're a team that goes for on fourth down because they're confident they have in their quarterback, which I would too. He's a good player. And their receivers, their routes they run are very hard to cover. They're a lot of, I think they're a lot of choice routes. So you're danged if you do, danged if you don't type thing.
And the timing was, I was blown away about how the timing between quarterback and receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, they turn, pivot, and the ball's right there.
They put a lot of work in, and now offensively we're getting where we're comfortable in the offense, and so now you get to little trinkets here and there, new formations, new this, and in the end, I think that our passing game is developing, and that's a big focus for us offensively. We got really good players. We're trying to get them the ball, and I think we're finding ways to do that.
All right. Well, honestly, you have another question about that. Flip the script.
I was going to say, let's move on.
Okay.
So what we're looking at?
Really good football team. They're very explosive. They put up 50-some points in one of their games, and they're 1-1 right now. But they played a really good opponent and two good opponents. So we got to work it out for us. But just like I said last week, it's all about us. It's all about the Gatesville Hornets. It's all about how we prepare. We've got a good week of work, but every game on our schedule is tough. There's not a game on there that you're like, man, okay, that's one you could probably take a breath on. And these guys are very explosive. When I think about them offensively, they have a lot of guys that can go from 0 to 100 right now and score. They played a game last year. They took a 65-yard touchdown to the house on us because we didn't fit something right. And so they have that potential all the time. And then offensively, it's just playing our game plan. Having successful plays, having a good first down, getting us in the second manageable, either converting, taking a shot, or getting us a third manageable, and obviously converting on third down, moving the sticks, and not self-inflicting wounds. And so you look back last week, we had one dead ball penalty, which we really focus on. That's a false start, and we got to clean that up. And we have the bad snap, which we got to clean up. But it's all about the Gatesville Hornets and what we can do better.
So looking at Mahia, obviously it seems, usually Glenrose, obviously a pass-strong team. Yeah. How about Mahia? Are we going to get a ground attack? Or are they
both. It's the best quarterback that we've seen since we played him since I've been here. I think it's been 3-4 years now. This is the best quarterback they've had. This is the best receiving core they've had. Up front, they're very strong, and they can move people. Defensively, they're very athletic, and they have a lot of speed. And so we have to maintain their speed.
So I'm expecting some Dutch Nielsen or Clater coming off the edge then?
That's all it's about. That's all it's about.
If I was back there, you got weapons like those two young men who are explosive as they are, and Clater, who did a great job this past week.
No, we're very fast. As I tell you guys, defensively we're very fast, and we use that to our advantage. But also we got to play a little bit tighter and some stuff. We worked that, but no, their team speed is very, very fast. Mahia's. That's one of their positives.
So one thing that I want to point out in the highlight films that I saw, it appears one of their dangerous aspects is their special teams.
Oh yeah.
I saw some highlight reels where they lowered the boom on some kickoff plays that were. I think we'll have to be watching on.
Oh, and they also got a surprise onside, and they kicked it to perfection, almost like onside versus Taylor. It was the same type of play, and they did that.
The onside I saw, the receiver that was trying to catch the ball got blown up, and he caught it on the run.
Almost scored.
And that was just, I was like, oh my gosh, he couldn't have caught that on the run any more.
And it was a great kick. And so, they're very good special teams wise. And that's what happens when you play good teams. You've got to find a way to, minimize your weaknesses and use your strengths to your advantage. And our staff does that. We have a great staff, and they do a great job of that. But in the end, like I tell you guys every week, it's all about us and playing our brand of football, keeping it close at half, coming in second half, winning the middle late, and having +2 turnovers. If we do those things, we're going to feel good about our chances, and we got to handle our business.
Okay, one question has popped up, and you said it will be an away game.
It will be an away game. It's going to be an away game. And they have tickets online only and clear bag policy.
Yes, clear bag policy. I did clarify that with the coach on us. We don't have to have a clear bag.
That's nice.
They don't make clear bags.
No way.
But yes, they do have a clear bag policy. They will be checking at the gate. I do remember that from the last time we went there. They had that. And parking is a little bit interesting there, so be prepared for that. And like Coach said, it is online purchase for the tickets. And man, we are already at the end of the show.
Bam,
again,
that's it.
When there's so much going on, there's lots of talking about and everything else. Speaking of talking about,
I'm about to say, there's a question. There's a question. Well, NIL last week. Come on. Yeah.
Well, this one is I feel like another thought-provoking question of things that I want to know your thought process, because this could potentially, I think, trickle down to us.
Yeah.
Okay, taking a look at the new rules in the NFL, kickoff rule. Do you feel like that is something that will eventually trickle down possibly through college to high school because of the same reasons? If it does, is it something that you support?
No, I think it'd be really hard to do at high school because at that level in the NFL, you have guys that can kick the ball wherever you tell them to. Different heights, different spins, different distances. In high school, we try to develop kickers, and we have some really good ones right now, luckily, but there's also some schools that don't have them. And so if you do that where that's landed in a certain zone, in some high schools, you may never get that in the zone. And so now, is there ways to change it? Maybe, I don't know. Do I support it? I haven't really watched it that much. I know there was one kickoff return. I saw that on Twitter this weekend.
They didn't think that would happen anymore.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard some NFL guys just talking and watching the news and Twitter and stuff say, used to, it changes your roster. Used to keep backup BBs or receivers to run down for speed. Now you want more linebackers, fullbacks, because now it's just like it's almost like the old school, tackle drill. That's a quick yeah, that's all it is. I mean, nobody can move. You can't move, and it's condensed, and you want guys that can fill gaps and be good tacklers. So I don't know if they can ever do it in high school, because to mandate something like that, you have to make it try to be fair across the board. Right. 6A level, you're going to have kickers that can do that. 5A, 4A's, 3A's, 2A's, you start getting down there and you're mandating a kid having to kick it to the 20. And then I think in high school football, you just talk about special teams, or onside kick. I mean, that's part of the game. It is. And you have to roll the dice. And so I hope they don't change that right now. Obviously, if there's a better way to do something and they come out with the rule, we're going to figure out how to do it the best way we can. I think it'd be hard to mandate that. I just thought it would be a very thought-provoking question because, there are things that you see that happen at higher levels that do eventually... It all comes down to it. Right. And on something... There are certain aspects of the game that they put rules in place and change things that, to me, I don't like because I feel like it takes away from the age-old game that's been played for over 100 years. Yeah. And... I will say this, I support what they're doing now because there's rumors they're going to take kickoffs out. Yeah. And just give them the ball 25. And I think that's, to me, I'd rather give somebody the opportunity because, also special teams is all about how you prepare. Yeah. And sometimes you can see a really good football team and good staff by their preparation on special teams versus people that don't put the time into it and they don't have that preparation. So I think you're taking away from the game a little bit. So I'm glad that they kept it in. Now, is it more safe and all that? I don't look at all that data. That's for people that make a way more money than me. I just know that I want to keep in the game because I feel like it is true to the true game. Right, yeah. But the thing is that closing out with this is they thought that it would eliminate the run backs and stuff, but just as much as you can put something in play, there's always these crafty cuts. That's it, man. They can look at something and they can say, well, hold on, wait a second, I can change 11 players here or there, and we might be able to finagle something here. But anyway, what you're going to see is you're going to start seeing kickers that learn how to kick the ball and spin it a certain way. Watch, that's what's coming next. Is spin on the ball to keep it where it hits and it spins a certain way. Well, theoretically, I would think that the biggest thing is that you want to have kickers out there that can pin that ball the deepest corner possible to force whoever the returner is to have to come out of a corner. Because if you give them the middle of the field, you give them too much to work with. You see how we kick. We put it in the corner all the time, every time. Yeah, every time. All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us again. And we want to thank the young men that were out here tonight that we were able to recognize for their play in the game Friday night. And we're looking forward to see who steps up and catches our attention this coming weekend. Mahia, be prepared. It's a little bit of a drive. And sometimes they have that road construction out that way, so be prepared for that also. As always, myself and Adam and the camera dudes, they'll be there. Dudes. As always, I want to give a special shout out to them because they help a lot of this set up and everything. It wouldn't be possible without them. But on behalf of myself, Coach,